Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Recording in progress. Two Owls, one pod. Formerly the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Check out our web series, 1950s Detectives, Politically Incorrect, The Two Dicks. That's what it's called. We got kicked off so many platforms because of our title. They thought we were like male porn, which we are. I'm Al Ducharme. I'm in Bimini. Is it Bimini? Then how do you pronounce this little Bimini? The Nassau clunk of sand that they made into a resort.
It's not Bimini, isn't it?
Bimini. It's Bimini. Bimini. You go back in the butter. Come to Bimini. I had coffee. Al Romas, where are you? Are you at sea?
Yeah. At sea on the Icon, day 12 or day 13. And I did not have coffee because the coffee, I'm too cheap to buy the good coffee, and the bad coffee or the regular coffee this week has been so bad that it's
on the
chews up my
Icon?
stomach. I can't handle it. Yeah.
Now, is this still the flagship, even though there's a newer ship called Utopia? It's a different class ship, right?
Utopia is an Oasis class.
So
ship.
why is it because
But this is still the flagship? Yeah.
Yeah, because of the class. It doesn't matter when it came out. It's just
Right.
So why does the class
Right.
Or the flagship class have shitty coffee?
Can't answer that. Not always shitty, but the last couple, well, this week it's been, just bad, I guess. Maybe I'm catching it wrong too, end of the pod of that kind of thing, burnt, old. I don't know. I don't know.
I sometimes find certain ships, the coffee is shit on purpose to make you purchase the good coffee. And then other times it's department to department, or actually canister to canister. You know how they have like canisters in different coffee stations in the Windjammer, which is their buffet. Like, why is this canister delicious and this one tastes like someone just scraped their butthole and then rinsed their hands in it? Why is that? Where's the consistency?
I don't know. These don't. This ship doesn't really have the canisters either. They have you wave your hand in front of the thing, and then coffee comes out. It's one of those
you took the
deals.
human element out.
Yes. So, but there's probably a canister underneath the thing. It just looks cool. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. It's
Behind
like when
the
you ever
scenes?
see that. Yeah, you ever see when you deposit like aluminum goes in this hole, plastic goes in this hole, and whatever paper goes in this hole, and people think they're doing something by recycling, and then you lift the top and it's just a garbage can. Doesn't divide them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those places, a lot of those garbage cans that you see, plastic, aluminum, paper, each hole, and when you lift the top, it's just a garbage can.
So
They're all going to the same
it's
place.
BS. It's
all BS. Yes, it's just make you feel like you're doing something. I'm helping.
It's cheating, is what it is. If you're going to spend, if you're going to claim you're spending trillions of dollars on saving the world, recycling, and global warming, and all that, and it gives the politicians an argument on each side, and then shit like that happens, it's like, who's doing it?
Well, look, I lived in Tampa. You were at my house. I had a recycled garbage can and a regular garbage can. Now I live in Clearwater. There's no recycle. You just throw everything in the dumpster. Everything goes in together. No recycle. So, and that's what, 15 miles away. So why is that different? Why are we recycling in
Different
Tampa,
town,
but we're not
different
Clearwater?
politics, different budgets.
Yeah, I don't really know, but
I don't know if it is. It could be just because of budget rather than political. Like we recycle in California. They're pretty strict about it. Different colored canisters, different trucks pull up and take recycling.
The people off the street.
Yes.
California.
Well, we live in Studio City, so the people that were in tents across the street in the park have been removed because because our neighbors are rich
Hmm.
and they moved them to the
They
area
move
where
them.
they moved them closer to the the multi-rental apartments and whatnot. But because my neighborhood is primarily home ownership, $1 million
Hmm.
condos, they say, hey, we don't want this in our neighborhood. Put it in the working class neighborhood.
Well, it's
Sorry.
like these video. Yeah, I was watching these videos, to the election, and these guys would bring in these migrants. They're not migrants, probably, but they were just Mexican looking. But they were bringing them to houses that had Harris signs in their front yard, and they would just knock on the door and go, "Excuse me," go, "We see you're voting for Harris, and it's great, but we have three illegals. They need a place to stay tonight." So we're hoping they could just stay on maybe in your living room, on your couch, on your. Oh Jesus! What do you do? Every one of them came up with a million. Get the fuck out of here! It's like, oh, okay. In theory, we like it. In theory, which is most things.
Is America going to
You
be
know.
great again? Not anytime soon. Um,
When
is it
was it
as
great?
bad?
When
Is
was
it
it? When was it quote
extreme?
unquote great?
Is it going to be Nazi Third Reich bullshit?
No.
Not anytime soon.
I don't understand. Yeah, and we've already had 4 years of them. I mean, we all. I mean, it wasn't whatever you can
I'm
take
sorry, the
whatever you wanted
Democratic
at,
Party was so
but we lived
anemic.
through it.
We're not political here, but the
Yeah,
Democrat. Why is everybody on? Not everybody. A lot of people are like in shock
I
that
know.
Trump won. They're in shock. Oh my God, he won. It's like you didn't see the signs over the last 4 years that
Yeah,
and the indictments and everything, and he just kept going through. I was
go to the
getting,
grocery store.
I would go to the
That's all
grocery
that
store.
matters to
Yeah,
people.
I was getting texts and emails from Kamala camp because I'm a registered Democrat. And I saw a couple of Trump commercials, but because the Democrats had my information, it was constant and it was
Hmm.
desperate. And I'm like, you guys know that
Hmm.
you're probably not going to win this election and you're getting very desperate.
Yeah,
But then when it happens, you're like, oh, what happened? I'm like, you didn't
yeah,
see the signs everywhere? I'm sorry.
yeah.
I make a point of not being political
No,
on our
but it just
podcast.
had a big election. We just had a big election. It's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah. And it's
you got
like,
to talk about it a little. And yeah, I don't. I stay out of it. No one knows. I don't post anything. Nobody knows what side I'm on or any of that shit.
and,
But
and my
you
Democratic
can't go to the
fans,
grocery store. Things like that matter to people.
yes, it
If you
does.
spend $200 on 3 bags of groceries, you're going to come home and go, "Well, this is bullshit." And if you got one candidate saying, "I'm going to fix it," and the other one doesn't know what's happening, she ignores it, doesn't say anything about it, brings out Beyonce.
I know.
You know, but they're not reading the room. I mean, they didn't
They're
read the
not
room at
reading the
all.
room. And
Yeah.
as we all know the information. We get the gist of it. The economy and the stock market were, of course, we just had a Trump bump, by the way. My
Mm-hmm.
Some of my stocks just went. I actually
Mm-hmm.
sold because I'm like, I don't know if it's coming back down. I'm very happy with the return on it, just because of the political situation.
Yeah.
But the economy was strong. Inflation was down, but inflation in the supermarkets and the insurance companies, they're making record profits, and because
Mm-hmm.
they are politically involved in wanting to have a Republican regime because it's corporations, it's the corporate
Mm-hmm.
world. And I'm sorry, this is my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
When there are families that are struggling and inflation, the numbers are down, but people are still paying more at the pump, at the grocery
Mm-hmm.
store, insurance companies, and those people that are struggling paycheck to paycheck, paying $1,100, $1,200 more a month than they were 4 years ago. They're like, I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah.
It's easy, but
It's
there's
not
a
hard to figure out. I mean, really, it always comes down to that. They always say that they give you all these wars and all this other shit. It comes down to how much money's in your pocket
yep.
when you go vote. That's how do you feel? But hey, things are pretty good. Go. But things are not good. You go opposite, and that's what happened. And not a great candidate, and it was a kind of a coup. I mean, no one voted for this woman. No
No.
one,
And
I mean, really.
she
So it
attempted
was
for the
the whole thing.
nomination back in
Yeah.
2019 and didn't get it.
She was
It
the
was
first out.
anemic. She had no
Yeah.
clear message other than it was Donald Trump in every sentence and how
Yeah.
evil he is.
Yeah.
And you can only do that. And the reason why they're saying Donald Trump, he's bad, you know what, he's going to be a dictator and all that. That's
Yeah.
because you're desperate.
Right.
When you just, that is your
Of
message
course.
until like
Nazi and shit.
until 2 weeks before or whatever it was,
Yeah.
3 weeks before they started changing it. When you're saying that months out, then you're desperate because you feel
Yeah.
threatened because your flyover states and all your blue pockets are shrinking. And you look at the numbers, people are like, hey,
Hmm.
of course, CNN will say, here's a Republican who voted for Kamala. And it's like,
Right. But I don't watch
but
that. I
look,
never watch any of
but look
those
at all the people, the
bullshit.
working class people that voted for Trump that would have
Right.
normally voted Democratic because
But but
it
also like I
stinks.
was watching Instagram or looking at Instagram the night of the election and there, some celebrity, I forget who, posted a video and it's Trump where he looks like he's blowing a microphone in the doing a speech. He's playing with the microphone, then he has his mouth on it, and he looks like he's jerking off a microphone. And there are all these 1,000 comments under it. This is sick. What the fuck? This country's ruined. What is he doing? Then, so I see that and go, oh, yeah, it's weird. But knowing him, maybe he was blowing a microphone. Who knows? Then you go to TikTok and you see the actual video.
Mhm.
He was giving a rally. The mic doesn't work. He's like, this is
Yeah.
junk. Who's the
Mhm.
idiot back there? He
Mhm.
starts hitting it.
Yeah.
Then he's doing
It's out of
this.
context. It's
They
all
just took it,
manipulated.
but they know, and they're just hoping to grab some people with this lie. And I'm no fan of his, but let's not, if you're gonna do that kind of shit and blame him for shit like that, what are we doing? I mean, we're both,
Manipulating things
yeah,
and a lot of AI shit. Some of it's
yeah,
very funny. The
oh yeah,
comedy AIs I laughed at, and then there's other ones I'm like, they make these little tweaks. It's like O.J. Simpson, who I truly believe was a
is
murderer.
innocent. Oh, you think he did it? Really?
But
I don't know. I don't know.
Time Magazine took a picture of him and darkened it and made him look
Right,
very
and that
evil.
was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That was
that was
the early
94.
'90s. Yeah, 94. They were manipulating shit. Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't they do
it's
that
not
also
new.
with one of the women? They made her lighter, a black woman. They made her lighter, and then she wanted to sue the magazine. But yeah, I mean, but again, that they've got to sell copies, and they know,
Well, that
it's all
it,
bullshit. That's
we
how I think
expect that with
Carlin said it.
tabloids.
Somebody said it. You got to go in knowing it's all bullshit. Everything.
We expect that with tabloids. There's a lot of British tabloids and few American tabloid
Not
magazines. It's,
not many left.
right. But what
You
I'm
know what I
saying,
mean?
you could expect that from them. But when it's like
Right.
this Time magazine and,
Yeah.
a magazine that we're kind of like, we trust, to be
Right.
fair and neutral. And no, that nobody. You get a new editor, you get a new investor, you get a new merger. All of a sudden, they
I read the
start
World Weekly
skewing
News.
things to their advantage, and it's just to sell, to profit.
Right.
We have stockholders to appease. It just becomes. It's not perfect.
Do you remember the World Weekly News?
I have to turn my phone on mute because it's
Al's first
interrupting
podcast.
my first podcast.
Yeah.
What was your
Phone's
question?
on. Do you remember the World Weekly News? Remember that newspaper would be in the supermarkets,
Yeah.
and it was about the Bat Boy or whatever who
Yeah.
lived in a cave and he was
The
12 years
tabloids.
old. I love that shit. And
Pure
that was fun though,
entertainment,
because yeah, it was all made up, but it was fun. At least you
but
knew it was bullshit.
but you'll have a small percentage of people
Who believe it.
who believe this shit
Of course, of
because they
course.
put just a little truth or based on a story in a
Yeah,
few of their stories,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden it gives them license to make up something completely for entertainment value.
yeah.
And anybody who takes that shit or did take that shit serious, then you are lowest common denominator of brain matter.
Yeah, and they're the ones now falling for these every video they see, and every
Hmm.
they just think if it's on the internet, it's real, and if it was
But
in the paper, it was real back in the day.
we have friends
Wow,
and people we
I had no
know
idea. Oh,
that have fallen victim to
hmm
some of the base shit. And I'm like,
hmm
I see them posting about it and I'm like, oh, there's a
uh,
joke. And I find out,
well, yeah,
oh no, hook,
we know
line, and
one guy
sinker.
who he constantly does it. He just sees it and posts it, and then
He's
it's
taken down a
embarrassing.
couple. He's taken
Yeah,
down, he's deleted a couple of them, but people are on him like, dude,
it's embarrassing. Yeah,
yeah, because
yeah.
he's the same person accusing the other side of lying. It's like,
Right, right, right. Yeah, I know, I know. By
there's
the
no
way,
fact checking. There's no,
no. Hey, by the way, I was here an hour ago. What happened? I was ready to pod. We were doing a morning record, 11 a.m. Thursday. I set up, ready to go. No, Alfred. What
here's the
happened?
thing. I don't know. I don't have an excuse really. I have tons
No,
of excuses, but I don't have a legitimate excuse like,
no.
oh, I took a gummy like you do. You were
Take
an
a
hour
gummy.
ahead and an hour behind, but there's many things.
Right.
The first one was I was on my computer
Okay.
with my wife, and by her third monologue is when your
Oh
messages
boy.
started coming in. Bling, where the fuck are you? Bling. All right, I'm going to
Right.
lunch. Bling.
Well, I saw it said because at the top it says if you're on, it says active now.
But my phone,
So that's why I was texting, going, "What the fuck, dude? Let's do this." And nothing.
I wasn't getting the notifications on my computer. I was getting them on here, and I had this on silent. I had them on my cell phone on silent. So
Oh.
also this ship, I hate to say it, in the elevators, they don't have the day of the week. So I have an
Wow,
inside cabin. I
what
have
a
an inside
first
cabin. I have
world
no,
problem that is. It's beyond first world.
but
That's
you start getting
I didn't know
conditioned.
what day it was because the
I'm getting
elevator didn't
conditioned.
have it on the floor.
I have an inside cabin,
Oh
which
my,
I
oh,
fucking
that's
hate, and
yeah,
it's going to dictate whether or not I take any more contracts that are offered. Um,
right.
um,
MS,
I can do three
DMS.
days. I can do 3 or 4 days. I can
Yeah.
suck it up, making full pay. But I'm on
hmm
here for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
I have to switch cabins to another a lower deck inside cabin. And
What?
yeah, what you do is you
Lower
go
deck
after we
inside.
set sail. You go to the guest services and you say, "Hey, can I
Right.
have an outside deck if there's one available?" And they went, "We're
Right.
completely sold out. There's signs everywhere. Don't ask for a cabin update."
Yeah.
So
So you're moving to a lower deck inside?
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I can't see anything anyways.
I mean, but you're already in an inside cabin. Who the fuck wants to move? If you move, it should be
They
an upgrade.
sold that someone picked this cabin because there's a lot of families, and they'll have one family take a balcony
Wow.
cabin across the way,
Wow.
and they
Yeah.
take this inside cabin for grandma or
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
tell them who you are? Did you go, hey,
I said,
fuckers?
I'm Al Romas. And they said,
Oh,
oh,
and
okay, we're
yeah,
getting the boiler
get out of
room
here.
ready for you.
Yeah. We're going to handcuff you to the boiler room plate. The
They think,
boiler
you know what it is?
plate.
I lied to them. I told them that
Is
I
that a plate?
served, and they said, he's a
Uh,
sailor. He can handle it.
Stolen valor.
Best 4 years
Yeah.
of my life. It was piled up high,
It was.
like the
It
Rocky
was.
Mountains, and you scrape it off.
Yeah. The toilet bowl, we had 4 or 5 toilets, and there was the didn't flush, or they didn't want it to flush. I don't remember. But I went in there, and his shit was equal height to the seat. It was just a bowl of shit all the way to the
So did
seat.
you have to like hover and shit?
I think I used a different toilet. I don't remember. It was.
Whose
I mean, it
job was
was.
it?
Well, that's a lowly sailor, a lowly seaman. Zero class, first day on the ship. Hey, buddy, got a job for you. Come on. Am I gonna meet the captain and see the world?
Because when I
But of
first
course,
heard
I
that
need to do
story, and
this.
even now, I get a little bit of like
Well,
I'm gonna lose my cookies just
well,
hearing it.
You know, you forgot the. I didn't even want to get into the. We had a shower curtain for a door. Do you remember that part?
Yes.
We'd have doors.
Yep.
We had a
Shower curtain.
clear shower curtains for
How
doors.
how long does it take you to adjust to that?
Well, you come from boot camp where the toilets face each other. There's like 20 down this way and 20 this way, and you sit across from each other and shit. So
They want you
by
to do that. That's part of the conditioning of
yeah,
being
and
able to
breaking you
tolerate the worst conditions so that
and breaking you, taking you from a civilian to a military person. A
right.
civilian, you get a door, you get comforts and privacy. But you're in the military now. It's different. So you sit across from a guy. You really haven't lived till you sat across from a guy and looked in his eyes while you both shit. It's really something. So when you get to the ship and they
I'm
have a
getting
shower
hard.
curtain, yeah, no shit, me too. But when you get to the ship and they have a shower curtain, that's like you go, wow, this is luxury. This is like being on an MSC ship. It's pretty good. So
I
uh,
should stop my complaining.
that's right.
I, me,
Perspective,
me,
perspective,
it's
always
more of
perspective.
a mental. I didn't realize I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it is, but I didn't realize how much it would affect me.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. I mean, I came from a middle class, nice home, and now I'm in a barrack sitting across from a man,
Right.
you know, shitting. It's
Now, I talked to
not
Tom
easy.
Cotter about this, Mr. Tom
Tom never
Cotter.
served. Never served.
No, his father was a army surgeon, brain surgeon, neurosurgeon.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
top of his field. Um, and the story is we've talked about it before on the podcast. When JFK was shot in the head, Dr. Cotter was one of the 2 or 3 phone calls they made, basically
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, he got shot here. He came out there. His brains are all over in front of in Dallas.
Hmm.
What are the chances of? I don't know. What are the chances?
Yeah.
We might
Yeah.
need you
Right.
to put Humpty Dumpty
Well,
back together again."
was that after the CIA messed around with his head, or was that before? Where they plugged some holes and you know kind of fit the story. So I wonder if that call was made pre
Remember the conspiracy
CIA.
theories? They had JFK in a wheelchair on some,
No.
yeah, on some island somewhere,
Oh.
and he couldn't
Well,
speak.
everyone.
He was like a
Don't
vegetable.
they all live on an island now? Epstein's alive on an island
Yeah, he's on
somewhere,
there.
and
Yeah.
they're all alive. Michael Jackson's alive. I saw a video where
Hmm.
Michael Jackson. Did you see that one? There's some guy, Dave, I think his name is, and he looks like he was
Didn't
in a
see it.
fire. His skin, his face is like a burn victim.
Hmm.
But he was on like Larry King, talking to Larry King about Michael Jackson's death and how he knew Michael. And all the people say that's Michael Jackson. He goes, that was his makeup, that's what he did, and it's all a goof. He didn't die. And he went on Larry King as Dave to talk about Michael Jackson. Look it up. Dave. Larry King.
Dave, Larry King.
Dave. Larry King.
You're gonna
Four
remind
names.
me? I can't even remember that we're
No,
recording a podcast.
that's true. That's true. Have you done shows yet on this vessel of yours, this
I,
in Bimini?
I did one show. Tell me what you think of this.
One show. Okay.
I have 6 total.
I have 26.
I've been on 4 days.
I've been on 12.
I had the first night off, second night, first show.
What? Nights off.
Yeah.
Nice.
You have
Nice.
you have one night off.
One night off, yes.
You're
A
doing
week.
2 weeks. Don't make it sound like you're doing 26 shows in a week, pal.
Well, it feels like it.
You got to start running some campaigns for the next presidential race.
I might. But
Um,
go ahead. Tell me about your show.
what do you think of this? 11:15 adult show is your first one out. And then I'm doing 4 family shows and then another adult show and then another family show.
No,
Is that 7? Did I do too many? 6 shows
that
total.
sounds like 6.
Wouldn't you rather do a family-friendly show first and then the adult show?
Well, generally that's the way it's always been done, and I think it's a good way. They get to see you, and then at the end you go like, "Hey, if you like adult comedy, I'm going to do a show later this week, whatever."
That's
They
how
come
I get a
out.
lot of people to come to my shows and
Yeah,
fill up.
yeah, they should see you. I don't know if they should, but it works. I think it works better
It's proven.
seeing yeah, he's clean, but that guy was good, clean. Let's see him when he's really letting loose a little
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm.
To come out first as adult is kind of
Didn't
weird
care.
because then
Didn't care for it.
they're hearing you curse and shit, and then the next time you're doing a show for with kids in the audience, yeah, I don't like it.
I
I
say
don't
it
like
was a
it.
6.8.
Out of 7,
I wish.
no.
Out of
Out of
20.
10, out of 20. Yikes. Ooh.
No, 6.8, 7, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I had
Well,
chunks of the audience that were totally all in, and then I had other people going, so there's a
yeah, but
language
you have a lot
barrier.
of non-English, right?
I do, and
Speaking.
I will have to say, 6 people got up,
Mm. And vomited.
walked out.
Oh,
Four of
well,
them came back, and I shitted
oh.
on them, all of them, when they left.
Is this a theater or a club?
A theater, 600
Oh,
seats. So I got
well,
4,500
six people out of
passengers.
600 or so left, and
No,
I mean,
I was
two
expect
left really.
I was expecting more.
Who cares?
I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah, no, that's
So
good. And
I did explain to them a little bit. I said, this is my adult show. I'll be doing
I,
family shows
well,
later.
I think we're.
I said, I'm a bit animated. And
I think I
so
lost you there, man. Oh, there he is.
maybe
Well,
I said
go back
my
a little.
act, I go, if you have a good handle on the English language, don't worry about it, whether you do or not. I will, you know,
Make fart
I'm
noises.
animated, so my act needs very little translation.
Yeah, I mean, fart noises are funny in English or Swahili. Who cares? You can
Right.
always get a
We can all
chuckle from that.
relate.
Yeah, we had some Asian people in the front row last
Oh
week
God,
or
you got to
last.
cancel that contract.
Well, they didn't speak English, so it's a front row and it's a club, and
Wait,
I'm
wait a
throwing.
minute. Do you
Yeah,
speak Chinese or other Asian languages?
I'm an American, man. Speak one
Okay.
language. That's it. We don't
I'm
speak
sorry.
other language.
Shame
What's
on
wrong with
you.
you?
Shame on
No,
you.
so anyway, I throw it at the guy something, and then he just smiles. I'm like, well, that's a weird answer. Go, and then I find out he doesn't speak English. The whole family, 6 people, they don't speak English. Front row. What? What the fuck? What are we doing? Why would you do that? Why would you
Why
come in
would
the
you
front
say,
row?
"Hey, he's English speaking, let's go watch and sit in the front row"? Why,
It doesn't make any.
who makes that decision?
I don't know. I don't know who makes any decisions anywhere. You know.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm out. I don't know. I'm out. I'm fried, man. I look at things. I go, I don't even understand that anymore.
This is
I don't get it.
this cruise is out of Brooklyn, so we have like a
Oh.
tri-borough area of influx. We have some foreigners from other countries that came in.
Mm-hmm.
375 bucks starting.
What?
Yeah.
Really? For your cabin? For that inside
Yeah.
cabin?
Mhm.
375.
A week of food
Oh my
and
God.
3 ports and 3 sea days.
Wow. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, honestly, how can you beat that? I
So
mean, really,
we have
two
families
dinners,
coming on board.
375.
Now
Wow.
this ship has pools, all for
Mm-hmm.
kids and teenagers, pools, game rooms. It's like more than like Royal. They have all these areas. And then they have some
Mm-hmm.
places adults only or yacht club. That's to keep everybody out. And then they have all these places for kids. And my neighbors, like there's a few families up and down this corridor. They
Uh-huh.
just open the door and let their fucking kids run up and down
Yeah,
like an
that's
hour,
great.
screaming.
Yeah.
9 in the morning, 10 at night.
Yeah.
That's like you have all these
But it seems
places
like
for,
that's any ship. I mean, I always, and the
but it's
door, the
what I'm
kid.
saying is I've
with the door.
experienced it
They're
many
more
times on many
fascinated.
different ships, but it's
Yeah.
tenfold here. It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
Kids, I saw a kid wearing Crocs, like 4 years old, on a table, on the take up on it. Everybody's looking for tables to sit, and this kid is sitting on a table with his feet, his Crocs, on it, and he's playing with the salt and pepper shakers. And then his family of eight
Hmm.
put two tables together, and they're just
Hmm.
not even looking at the kid. And the kid's like,
I know.
and it's like people are looking to sit down somewhere, and there's
Can you
kids
imagine if you were
with
that
their feet.
age? If you were that age doing that, what would have happened?
I would have been pulled off by a limb or my hair or my ear, something. I
Right.
would have been
Right.
dragged off,
Yeah.
maybe a swat in the pants. What are you doing? Why would you go up on that? Don't ever do that again. And I'd
Hmm.
cry, and then I'd go back to something else.
Yeah.
But there's no discipline here.
None. I mean, I remember being in restaurants as a little kid, being an asshole, and my father grabbed me by the arm,
Yeah.
took me into the front, out in the lobby area.
Yeah.
Didn't hit me there, but just said, let's go act, this way. This is bullshit. We're
To
not taking this.
in my
Then you go
face,
back.
and we go back, and then it's
Yes,
cool.
of
And
course.
I
But
still
they
get my ice
ignore it.
cream
Yeah, sure.
at the end.
It wasn't any big deal, but these kids they're ignored. You could make a room on a ship for kids if they just put doors. I think it'd be the most popular room in the ship for kids. They just love opening that door and closing it. I don't understand what it is. It's a door, but for some reason out here, it's fascinating to them. They love it.
And you know what it's like? It's like the interrogation, our first episode of The Two Dicks, where this door was the
All right, a
star
door. That's
of the
right.
episode
That's right.
because it was
Yeah, the
just
door. And you could, yeah,
we were just
yeah,
coming in and out.
right. Well, we're two kids then, I guess, so we like doors too. Because, but I'm always in my room where I hear the next door, and it'll just a little kid's voice. And the first day, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of those weeks. And then it's all that door action, close open all week. But yeah, I agree with you. This ship is kid friendly, more kids than anywhere I've ever worked, and there are a lot of them are good. They're good kids, and a lot of them are out of
A
control.
majority of them are good.
But a lot are out of control, and they run in the hallway and all that shit. And,
When you start getting big numbers of 4,500, 6,500 passengers, and there's a lot of families on board, then
yeah,
everything is amplified.
well, a lot of people complain because they put I don't know what they do. They put magnets on their door,
mhm.
and then the kids steal them. And then they
Yeah.
go on Facebook and they go, "These kids steal my." You're an adult. You're going to be on a ship for 7 days. Do you need a door
magnets?
full of magnets?
No.
I mean,
I
you're
put
asking for it.
I put my do not disturb up high just because the ones that are usually going to grab them, of course, some teenagers will do it, or they'll have their
Yeah.
teenage brother reach up, pull it, and give it to them. I usually put my do not disturb up high just because of that very reason. And then
Yeah.
my cabin
It was-
attendant takes it and puts it lower because he's
Yeah.
saying, I checked this room already. Or I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's
Yeah,
doing.
why doesn't he just bring it inside if he's already cleaned? Turn the thing around, putting it on the inside of the door.
Why is he coming near my door?
I heard a clever one, not clever. If it happened to me, I'd be pissed. But when people put out their breakfast menu on the door for the next morning, the left side is free. It's continental, bagel, orange juice, coffee. And the other side's eggs, bacon, and you got to pay like whatever it is, $8, $10. Well, there was a thing going on here where teenagers were taking them off the door and then just filling them out, eggs, bacon, and putting them back on the door. And then the next morning, people were getting a full breakfast and being charged. Now, I would be pissed, but
And they're
think that
calling,
was
going,
fun.
you made a mistake. We didn't
Yeah.
order all this.
Exactly. And then they show them, they go, well, your card says, you wanted 4 eggs and 3 bacons. So I go, that's pretty good.
Oh, by the way, this menu says put the number of items you want in the little circle on the menu.
Uh-huh.
So it said eggs. It said egg. So I put 2. And I put 2 turkey sausage. They bring me 2 plates. They give me 4 eggs and 4 turkey sausages on 2 big plates with lids on them. So now I'm getting double serving, which I don't want.
Yeah.
And I got this, and I have one. It says how many people in the cabin? 1. So
Right.
if I order double order, Why wouldn't you put the 4 eggs and the 4 sausages on one plate? This is a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Uh,
What? I don't get it.
hmm
Then you got to wash an extra
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah. I don't order the bread. I do order the eggs and bacon and whatever sausage. Do you do that often,
Uh,
or is that a free one on there?
Rarely do I do it. When I do it, and I just did it yesterday, or I'm sorry, the last C day, because the C days here are just insane in the buffets. It's
Yeah.
just you can't. It's a
Yeah.
struggle. It's a
Walmart on a
struggle.
Black Friday.
Oh my God, it's a struggle. So I get a little snobby.
Hmm.
I order it.
Yeah.
I've this is my third time ordering.
Right.
This morning I had Continental, just because it was going to be a little later port. We weren't doing a 7 a.m. We're doing like a 9. Then they got to clear us. So it's 9:30, 10.
Mm.
And so I just had it delivered. Of course, the 3 times that I've had my food delivered and I put the time, they show up 15, 20 minutes early. So
Mm.
I set my alarm and I'm awake, but
Right.
I'm like, "Arr."
Yeah.
I'm in my underwear and all of a sudden, dun, 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 dun. I'm like,
Yeah.
putting my
I know.
pants on and everything. And I open it up and they go, "Oh, hello, good morning." And I'm like, I'm happy to have my breakfast, but it's
Yeah.
like that 15, 20
Do you
minutes
let them
early.
in or do you take it at the door?
I let them in, and then
Ooh,
if it's a chick,
never.
I I'm totally
Banger.
respectful. No, I'm totally
Oh,
respectful. If it's a
oh,
dude, I tickle him.
you have the robe open.
I have the robe open and I tickle him.
Oh, goddamn right. That's his tip, baby. Right. I just give you the tip.
Just a tip.
Here's just the tip. I don't let them in a hotel or the room. I never do. What I do is I have my tip money in my hand, and
Uh,
I go, "Hey, thanks so much." And as I give them that tip, I take that tray and I bring it in, and we're done. But sometimes I order 2 coffees, and they'll bring one, and that's someone was telling me when you call, your picture comes up on the thing, and it shows how many guests are in the room. So there, if I order two, I want two though. I want two, but they go, "Here's one. You're one
I'm
person."
having the opposite here. I'm putting,
Hmm.
it says how many, and they're giving me
Yeah.
2 cups,
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
saucers. They give me two of everything. And I'm like, it's one person. So now
Yeah.
I have this tray that's extra heavy,
I know. Do you put it in the hall or do you leave it in the room for the cabin attendant to clean?
both
There seems to
depending.
be two worlds on this with entertainers.
Well, I have my door has a little inlet, so I put it there. If I don't have an inlet, I usually call or leave it for the cabin
Mm-hmm.
attendant.
Mm-hmm.
It
Not in
all
the
depends.
hallway.
Mine's in the hallway right now. I put it outside the
Oh.
door because I have a little
Oh, you have
inlet.
the little inlet.
It's not in the middle of the hallway, so people can trip over it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if I
Okay.
don't have that, I call and say, "Can you send someone up to pick up my tray?" And
Yeah, that's what we want to do.
I call
We
first.
really can't wait to get up there
Then
and
I
clean your
open it
tray.
after a few minutes, and then I put it out there, and then it gets picked up right away or 2 hours later.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's funny. There's like this tribute band because in our hallway here, I'm next to the other 2 comics, and then down from them is this tribute band, and they each have their own room. But I think they're new to this whole thing, so they're just keeping do not disturb on their door for 7 days. But they put their garbage cans outside the door, and it's like overflowing with coffee cups and shit, and they stick it all at the door for the cabinet attendant or someone to dump that
Who's
they
doing
can
it?
take the thing back in the room. The tribute band. I think
Oh,
they're kind of new to cruising and they're like, they don't come in my room, but my garbage can is full. We're going to put it out in the hall and you can dump it and then give it back to me. It's like, no. And then they
they
have a
have
lot
to
of
be
food out
trained.
there too.
They have to be
Yeah.
trained.
Yeah. They're about 80 years old. I don't want to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Now, I have an inside cabin.
Hmm.
When I'm on, there we go. When I'm on Royal,
I'll help you out. There's some water for you.
Oh, thank you. I have two stations on my TV where it's the portholes. One's of the
Fuck.
island, the other one is of the ocean. So
Uh,
I have to put it on in the morning just to,
wow.
it's
It's
killing me
good sleep though, right? Do you sleep well in the inside
until the
cabin?
kids
I mean,
start in the morning.
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
by the way, the baby carriage stroller thing is just people are going up to a very busy buffet sea day where it's completely jammed.
With
Instead of the
strollers,
with strollers, instead of grabbing a table and having one of the parents stay there while the other one fetches
right?
the food and they can switch, they have the strollers in line
No,
with 50
no,
people deep trying to get it's just
no, doesn't
it's
work.
is it cultural?
What do you mean? Cultural? It what from?
I
I don't know.
I don't understand what
How could that be
language is
cultural? It's just it's either smart or not. I mean,
smart or
can't you tell?
not.
That's a yeah. I mean, just go sit with your
Smart or
child,
not by Al Romas.
but just go
Available at
sit with your
Amazon.
child. Maybe I'll get to work on that later. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine a stroller on a line
Dude,
getting
it
food.
it wasn't just
So,
one, it was like a multiple. And it's like, are you
mm,
and then I'm like, oh, maybe it's a single mother and she's got like three kids. And then I see them again
nah,
and you see the guy.
yeah,
It's like, do you guys have this?
no,
It's completely jammed. So why wouldn't you
yeah,
say, honey, take the kids over there. I'll get the stuff. And then you go up. There's like,
because they're not smart.
and so the baby carriage is out and people are trying to get around and
Yeah,
the crew's trying to move dishes and
ugh,
it's like it's big clogs and it's like
ugh. I saw a guy up there the other day. He had a steak on a plate, and he was going to get other food. And while he was getting the other food, he lifted the steak up and took a big old bite out of it. And I just want to, you just want to go. You can't do that, but I can't say anything.
no.
You know,
If
he's
I were a
eating it.
paying customer, I'd be saying shit.
Well, if I
I'd
was
turn into a
paying
male
customer, things would be
Karen.
great.
I'd be a
Yes,
male Karen and I'd wear that badge proudly.
I agree. I agree. I would have to say something because it's. I
So
want to
some
work
people
on.
will grab a French fry. Who doesn't do that? But
That's all right. You don't eat
lifting up the
meat.
steak,
You
yeah,
Viking. Who does that? Really. But that's why. But not that they wouldn't do it there. But Virgin Cruises sounds interesting. No
are they doing
kids.
comedy yet?
That's what they. Everyone has a different take. I'll ask somebody, "Hey, does Virgin do comedy?" They go, "Oh yeah, they have comedy there." Then you talk to someone else, they go, "They haven't done comedy yet. They haven't even started the program." So I don't know is the answer, but that's all adult, all inclusive. A couple ships though, two maybe. I think they have two, maybe three, but it would be interesting to experience the no kid cruise.
Um, I would enjoy that.
Yes, sir.
When I worked Disney,
I
they
can't
asked,
believe you worked Disney.
yeah, and they wanted me to be their guy
Their guy. Why didn't you become their guy?
because of the family thing, which I'm
Oh,
experiencing right now. It's like, no, I enjoy it, but when you have an abundance of it,
yeah.
not during spring when you're not expecting it, like this is the first week of November, and it's like
Aren't they in
spring
school?
break.
Isn't school on right now?
People have been taking out their kids out of school
Ah,
for a
three
week.
hundred bucks. Why not?
Well, because if they go during peak season, it's twice as three times as much. So they're like, let's take our kid out of school for a
Right.
week and
Yeah.
save 2 grand,
I'm saying for $300 too. I mean, hey,
375. Yeah.
375. That's a hell of a week. Let's bring Billy and Sally and let them open doors and run around the hall and keep Al Ducharme awake.
And for 475, you give the comedian's balcony cabin away and you stick him on an inside cabin.
Unbelievable. Isn't it amazing? Like I bet there are people who would listen to this or people who think or watch our show and they think we're in the best cabin. We're living. It's everything's free, everything's calm. You would because I used to think that when I saw an entertainer, I'd be like, oh man, they have this great life, and then you become one, and then you really find out, no, it's not that
It's
way.
not as glamorous. And
It's not as glamorous.
you know what
As
it is?
exactly.
you and I have had the bad, shitty gigs. And then over the years, we stuck to our guns when we made a living doing this. So you start to progress and you start to get better treatment. And then when you get to a certain level and you still have to answer to the man, the corporation, and whatnot, it changes. And we're supposed to be, we're lucky to, you and I are lucky to be employed doing what we do because there's thousands of other people that want this
Sure,
job.
sure.
So, and we have to
Yeah.
appreciate
No,
what
I
we
get it.
have. But
No, I get it. I do, and I loved. I had a full year on Icon, two on, two off for a full year. Started in January. It's November now. It's been great. I have no complaints about that at all. But I'm just saying, if you look at some and go, maybe that'd be a little better or different or that kind of thing. I'm not saying it like, oh, I want to move on. I mean, hey, I did Carnival for 2 years or so, and we know guys who work it. That's their thing, and they have no
mhm,
problem with it. They're
mhm,
they're employed. They're great. They look at it like it's a gig. I don't care.
mhm,
To me, that was rough. Between the accommodations and the shows, that was a rough gig.
mhm.
But it just some enjoy it, and the other guys have a good perspective. They just look at it like doesn't even matter to me. I don't
Some
give a
guys are
cat
not
if I'm
fazed by
in.
it at all. It's all about their calendar being full, and they're like, whatever I
And
have.
yeah, and what I make a year, and they don't look at it like, oh, my room's an inside, or because you have an inside cabin, but you have a real cabin. It's an actual passenger cabin. It's okay. You go on some other ships, these crew cabins are inside, and they're not okay. But it's all again everything like the toilet bowl with the shit in it. It's all perspective.
It is
You know.
perspective.
Yeah.
No, I don't, should we talk about incentives to work this line versus another line? Because it's
Sure.
should we do it on air?
Yeah. Sure.
This is me kind of bitching a little bit.
All right. Good. Yeah.
Okay. So they say you're assigned an inside cabin and you can be moved to an outside cabin if it's available, if they're not sold out. A lot
Hmm.
of families, a lot of inside it's
They
sold
always
out. I
offer
know
that
that.
though. That's a thing. It's
It's in my
offered.
contract.
Oh, okay. That's not
Mhm.
bad.
But
That's not bad because, like Royal, you get a cabin. That's it. You're not bouncing around and going out like a better one. So that's not a bad thing, incentive
okay.
to have.
No gratuities.
Great,
You- I
great,
I
love
give
it.
the guy cash. I give him
Yeah, of
a tip
course.
for his services. I have him come
Yeah.
in 2, 3 times a week.
Okay.
And if I need something, I go, hey man, can I get some fresh towels? Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
want
good.
to I don't want to burden him, you know, or
Right.
her.
That's good. I like it.
40% off of internet.
Good. I like it. What is the internet price for the regular
It was
200?
similar or maybe
Oh,
slightly less when I looked at it. I don't even look at it now.
okay.
It's just when if I'm paying, it's funny when I'm paying like 100, 110, whatever it is
Yeah.
for the week. I guess it's 200, right? 180.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. That
So comparable.
pretty good. No, it's funny though. Like, imagine a few years ago, whatever, if you were like, "Hey, it's pretty good. Only pay $120 for internet."
I think it should
We'd
be
be like,
free.
"What? Of course it should be free.
It should,
Of course."
now on Celebrity, free high-speed internet. They did give you free basic. Now it's free high speed. So that's a
That's
major
a
saving.
plus.
That's a plus. Okay. So
That's a
here,
plus.
you get free beer and wine. Uh,
Okay.
you know, top shelf hard stuff you have to pay for. No discount.
Okay.
Um, but you get beer and wine and specialty coffees, cappuccinos, espressos,
Free.
free.
Oh, that's big. That would be
What
big for
what I'm
me.
saying is you have to weigh
I like
this
that.
out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I like that. I like that.
Um, when I
Definitely.
worked a few months ago, when I worked on one of these ships, I was scheduled for 3 days, and then he said, "Hey, can you stay the second week full pay?" So now I'm getting two paychecks in one week.
Hmm.
But I think that might be like, we got him. So
Yeah,
now they give me
yeah,
2 weeks
right.
back to back
Regular,
inside cabin.
right.
I'm like, I'm losing my mind. Oh,
Yeah. No, there. Yeah, I've gone through a few things in my life career where that is. I think there is something to that, where they kind of, you know, rope you in a little bit with something really
I think
good,
it
and then you
clearly
go,
did.
"I'm in," and then it goes, "Hey, wait a second, I was the guy that got paid twice for 1 week. Now I'm an inside cabin," and
And my
yeah,
first cruise that I did with them, two family shows, same material, and one
yeah,
adult show.
right,
And the cruise directors, I don't put comedians on the first night. And, out of Miami, they're making you guys do 6 shows. They want 2 hours of material. I'm like, what? He
mm,
goes, yeah, it's a big problem. And he goes, I don't do that to the comedians because I know. And I keep telling them, don't, you're stretching the comedians too thin.
right.
And they keep going through comedians, because
Well,
so
it's funny because the comedians, we have these Facebook groups and all, and it seems like it's split with that cruise line. It's very much there are guys who go, "It's great, I love it," and the other guys who go, "I would never work it again
yeah,
for
there's some
whatever
guy, and
reason."
then Gary Delaney goes, pass. It's like,
Well,
have you
Gary
have
wasn't
you
asked.
have you worked?
He wasn't
Sorry.
asked either.
I know. I gotta edit him out of this. What are we
Nah,
at?
who
An
cares?
hour.
He's never gonna. He doesn't know what a podcast is. Um, he doesn't. What was the other question I had about that though? Shit. Well, oh, the
Okay.
shows. The shows. Now you got to do a family show. What is that? Half hour
Yeah,
family?
it says 35 minutes. Now my cruise director went out and did 4 or 5. So I ended up
Right.
doing I ended up doing like 33, 34, but I didn't have to.
Right. But now do
Um,
you do another one of those? Another family?
no, that was the adult show. And now I have to do a 35 family.
That's it though. 135 family, 135 adult.
Here's what he did. They said they really like you to do, they want you to have uh they want you to have like 90 to an hour and 45 minutes of material.
Right.
So the girl in the office said, "Hey, what are you comfortable with?" I said, 75 minutes. They can divide it up however they want. She goes, "Okay, I'm going to tell them that." I go, I don't want it to 90 minutes. And a lot of times you end up doing the 90 minutes anyways. But for me, if I don't have to, then
Right.
it frees me up and I can
Sure.
riff
Sure.
and
Is more your
whatever.
act though adult or family or both, or is it equally both? Like you don't have because you don't have any bits,
It's
do you,
more
that are just
family. It's more family.
but you don't have any bits you can't do at family, can't do you?
It's
Can't do
just
that bit.
suggestive. I change the words. I leave part of it
So
out.
that's good though. You can do. I see. I have a couple of things I can't do at the family show,
Right.
which is like then I lose time. You know what I mean? Where it's good to have bits that or your whole act if you could do it. Yeah, without cursing, I
They're
can
not
do
as
it.
effective.
That's
There's a couple of bits
no, but still
that I
to have
clean
though
up
is
for the
good.
family, and they're kind of like they're a little bit on the weak side. Whereas if I have full freedom,
Right.
I get a better
Yeah, but that's
response.
good though. At least you can do it though. That's what I mean. At least you have it because
It's
I
still
have things where
it's
it's like I can't do that.
it's still
Can't
a
do that.
challenge. I still get like
Yeah,
rattled. I'm like, oh, how many? Oh, there's little kids in the front row. Why are they in the
I
front
know.
row? They're not supposed to be. All of a sudden,
Well,
I'm
that's awful.
focusing on why they said they're not gonna have any kids in the 2 front rows, 3 rows.
Yeah.
Who's policing this?
Well,
Nobody.
that's another that you're talking about kids lose. That's another thing that's changed. It used to be no kids unsupervised in the first 5 rows. They made an announcement. They people would come up to you and say you have to move. That's not carried through anymore. Now it's just
Well, because the
whatever.
passenger's
They
going, fuck you.
yeah, and they catered to the and
I'm
they
paying for
created
this. I'm paying
monsters.
for my family. Fuck you. And I'm like, how does that happen?
All right. Well, they've catered to these people. It's like you go to the smoking area and people have food at the tables and boom boxes. And they're blasting their own shitty music. They're eating food. They're not leaving. They sit at the table for the day. Like that's their place to hang because they all smoke cigarettes and shit. But it's like this was it. So I go up there and I want to just get a chair and there's French fries on the
Yeah.
floor. There's hot dogs. And you go, this isn't a picnic area. This isn't the place to have lunch. This is a cigar or a cigarette in and
It's the
out, 5
Wild
minutes,
West
or a
out here, man.
it really is. They because nobody will say no, and if you don't say no, even an adult becomes a kid again and just goes, "Well, I'll do what I want. Fuck it." No one says no.
There's this uncouth streak, ignorance around the world. And believe me, I'm
Well,
not
we see it
I'm
weekly.
not
We
saying
see
I'm
it.
better than anybody, but it's just a very
I am.
basic thing that for some reason I think it's social media has caused a lot of
Well, I
this.
think there's some of that, but also it just becomes no one wants to say no to anyone. It's like the cruises 20 years ago when people complained. They started with that, I'm sorry, we'll send you a bottle of champagne. And then they would tell their friends, hey, you know what? Tell them your air conditioner doesn't work. You get a champagne.
Mm,
And should have just been like, hey, we're sorry. We'll send a guy up to fix it. That's
mm.
that. You don't get a reward every time you complain. And we've created that. And now they know and the ships are all, the competition, everything. They don't want to tell anyone no. So guy's got a boombox blasting.
And here's the
What
thing.
is
There's
this?
there's other music playing
Of
from the
course.
ship. So
But
they
and
crank
it's
their volume up to
loud and
oh,
hardcore rap. It's like, fuck that ass, fuck that pussy. And you just what? And then got a grandma sitting there
and they
with
go,
a child
you
on
gotta
her
do a
knee.
family show.
Yeah. Well, we can't curse at the family or we
Mm.
make it family
Mhm.
appropriate. But I'm looking at a grandma with a little son on her knee and she's smoking a cigarette, blowing smoke. The kid is on her knee.
Mhm.
I'm 10 feet away with a cigar and I don't even like it. I'm thinking, I'm blowing smoke near this kid.
Yeah, the
Meanwhile, the
optics,
kid, she
it's
couldn't care
horrendous.
less. Grandma
No.
didn't give a fuck. No care. Didn't matter. So that's where I
Well,
guess that's
and
where we
again,
are.
it isn't our parents' generation where they didn't have
No.
awareness.
Yeah, but you and I
There's
don't have
so,
kids.
what I'm saying, there's
But
so
how
much
come, but we
awareness
were
now.
raised,
There's no
how
reason for
come
you
these
to think that there's
parents,
nothing wrong with that.
no, but also these kids who are our age, raised the right way or with parents, in the sense of telling them what to do, what not to do. Why is it they raise their kids much looser? And now this new generation of parent doesn't even parent. You
It's
know what I mean? Like,
apparent, but
why
you don't
did
parent.
I wonder? It's apparent to, yeah, they're not parenting, and apparently there's a problem. But I don't understand why. You know what I mean? I guess because they looked at it like, well, my father hit me. I would never do that to my kid. And then that kid was raised, and then the kid who was never hit at all or anything raises his kid now with just total do what you want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't have kids, can't speak of it, but it just seems like
But we're
the
experts.
parenting we knew. Of course, yes.
No,
That's
we've had decades of observing this stuff. So we're like,
yeah. We're around a lot of people every
I'm
week.
like, I
We
can
see a
see
lot of people.
why method works here. That one's not bad, but what is going on here with this unruliness and
Yeah,
disrespect?
right. That's my question. Like, when did that happen, or why did that start to happen? Because these kids are, I mean, they're out of control. And I just think of myself, if I was that age, being out of control like that, it wouldn't have happened.
No.
So, but I don't have the
But now
answers.
my wife
That's
says,
the point of these things.
my wife Bernadette says, "Oh, we have an unstable internet connection. Hold on.
Yeah,
It just came back. It just came back." My wife says,
a little
actually, I was
unstable.
one of those unruly kids, and my parents spoiled me.
Really?
There was a 10-year gap between her sister and herself, and she was younger, so she was the favorite, well, not the favorite, but the baby. And they're like, and they had already gone through all that shit with the older kid.
Right.
So they had just let Bernie run wild. And she goes, and I was a tomboy and I was a wild kid.
Hmm.
And I can see why people don't like that.
Right. But she grew up with that. But if she was had a kid, if you guys had kids, they wouldn't be just wild, unruly kids.
No.
I think it's a brain, having a brain. I mean, just going, hey, that's not right. Don't talk to that
I think
person
my
that
wife
way.
would be
Just behave
overprotective.
yourself.
I think she would be a helicopter parent. And, I think that I would hopefully be a little bit more, firm. Um, but, we've also had a Chihuahua and we treated him like a little fucking baby.
Right. Well,
And I
yeah.
look back at some of it, I'm like, whoa. I was
Yeah.
gone, man. I was pulled in.
I
Yeah.
hear you. Well, dude, I have a
Did
stroller
you,
for my dog. You know what I'm saying?
well, I'm
So,
saying you got
yeah.
Teddy, so
You'll see. You'll see. You'll be down. We'll go get somebody or something. Kelly will have Teddy in a stroller. So it's a trip, man. And I was like, I'm the guy who always would look at those things and be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And
I
now I'm the
had
guy.
Buddy, we'd go on a hike and he didn't want to go on, some of it was a little challenging. Other
Yeah.
dogs are running around, and then
Well,
Bernie's like, I
he's
don't
a
want him to be attacked and blah blah blah. So I have him in this like body sack, what do you, a baby Bjorn thing for
oh
dogs,
jeez.
where he's
That's worse
hanging
than a
out like this.
stroller.
So we're climbing up the mountain, and then we let him out. But
Yeah.
because he wouldn't go, he was stubborn. So I'm like, well, I don't want to drag him by his leash. So I put him in this thing, and he's
Yeah.
perfectly like King Tut. Like I could dig. I'm digging this, Daddy. I'm digging
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly. I know. Well, we do the walk and then Teddy stops. We're
Hmm.
walking it and he just stops because the stroller's and he's like, put me in the stroller. And then Kelly will put him in the
He's
stroller and then
trained.
we're
He's
walking and he
he's
sits up in the
trained.
stroller like
Yeah,
having the
King
best time
Tut.
of his life. Yeah, he's having
You that.
yeah. Send
Well,
me a
my
picture. Put it right
treat.
there. Right there will be. Look at him. Look at this guy. Crazy. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, we've been chatting it up for an hour, pal.
All right. Well, that's great because I had no
I
notes.
think we
Nothing
bitched and
happened.
moaned about our privileged
Saturday to
lives.
I know. Yeah, we apologize. We'll try to be funny next time.
We'll try to be funny next time. I'm sorry we
But
were
we're
male
gonna
Karens, and
we're gonna have a lot of pods in person soon, so we'll have some good stuff and maybe a little two dicks action. Who knows? We'll
wait
see.
a minute. Let's explain to the listeners what a little two dicks action actually is.
Well, I assume anyone listening knows what we do, and
Oh
and
my
if you
God.
don't, then
That is so out of context.
that's a real reason to turn in.
You're just
Two
trying to
dicks
get a
action.
clip. You're just trying to get a clip. And I'm not involved in this. My homophobia just went boop.
Your homophobia? Really? Really?
We're out. So this part doesn't
Oh,
even make
all
the
right.
cut.
So long, Mel. Have a good trip.
Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The Two Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Two Owls, One Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/The Two Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.